Hey everybody, The Great Escape here, and welcome to another episode on our redstone testing world, although this one is a little bit different because we are in an ocean biome and we're spawning ocean monuments, because today we are going to build a very, very tiny but super efficient guardian farm. Now obviously this is running in, or it's not running at all right now. Hey, pupper. But in perfect conditions, in 15 minutes, we got this many drops. And so this is what we're going to be building. And today, and it has an automatic kill feature and then also an XP grinder, and it's toggleable, so you can have one on, both of them on, or, you know, alternate as you go. So let me go ahead and gather all the materials that you'll need to build this, and then we'll get started. All right, so all the materials that you're going to need to build this farm are here in this chest. And there's some of these are approximations, so it's not exactly right, and it also doesn't include any of the building blocks like the things that I've used here, the you know, the dark prismarine and the glass. Just know that you're going to need a lot of glass if you use that, and as well as other building blocks. But for the main farm, you're going to need about 40 hoppers. Completely depends on the size of the storage unit you want to build and things like that, but about 40 hoppers, 28 dispensers, 28 redstone dust, around 10 chests, and then about 6 stacks of signs plus 2, 5, you know, just to be safe, you might go 6.5 stacks of signs, 7 stacks of signs, whatever, but this is about where you're at. 2 stone buttons, 28 buckets, and then you'll need, of course, water in those buckets, but if you have an infinite water source, you can use that. 4 carpets, and then you're going to need about, I would say, around 18 lava buckets. So if you have a nearby lava source, that's going to be really useful for you, but it's going to be about 18 to 20 lava buckets to go with that. So those are all the materials that you're going to need to build the farm, so let's go ahead and get started. Now the first thing you're going to do is figure out where you want the farm to sit, and it can actually sit anywhere within the bounds of the old ocean monument. So any of this space. So if you want to build it out in the middle here, you can absolutely do that. I've chosen to build it on a side. You could build it on the back wall, you could do it whatever, but I kind of like the side location here. And so what you want to do first is know that the guardians are going to spawn within the ocean monument box area. So I've gone ahead and left this outer band here. Anything outside of here is going to be non-spawnable area. So you don't want your farm to be across this. So we're going to start here. And the first thing we want to do is go ahead and build the lower portion of the farm. And I've done it, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I've done about 16 blocks wide. You could do it a little bit wider. You will need some more hoppers if you want to do that, but it's perfectly functioning at 16 blocks wide. And then down below the farm, and if this portion is still water, that makes it a little bit easier to build. You're going to match that, and you're going to take this down, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks below the bottom of the ocean monument. And most ocean monuments have, you know, ground underneath it so that it makes this easy to build. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you want to pull that across and match that up down here. So this is the bottom area of your farm. And then from there, we want to go in 2 blocks, and then another block, and then that is the full extent of 1/2 of the farm. It's only, the actual farm itself is only 4 blocks wide, and then you have 2 of them right next to each other. So we end up with something that looks like this. Now it's completely up to you whether you want this to be glassed in or not. You can have the lower portion of the farm not glass if you want to save on glass. And again, building materials, I didn't put them in the chest because you could build this whole thing out of cobblestone and it would be just as effective, and that would be fine. So we're going to go ahead and fill that in there. And the next step is I'm going to go ahead and put in my hoppers. So I'm just going to put 2 hoppers out the front just to start. but then those are going to have to come out. And then you're shifting into the hoppers and you're filling in the whole bottom section of the farm with your hoppers. And this is where most of your hoppers are going to go, that 40 hoppers that, whoops, oh no, the 40 hoppers that I told you were necessary for the farm, most of them go right here. Now, if you want to go ahead and plug in your storage unit, you would need to put your chest out the front. And I would kind of recommend doing, let's see, I'm going to just do a temporary block here, hopper, hopper, and then a temporary block here and here, hopper, hopper, and then your chests are going to go right there. Now, this works perfectly fine right here, but if you want to extend this out, you can pull as many as you want down, and then can't shift while flying. And then all you would need to do is do hoppers into the back of each of those. And I just do one hopper. I don't worry about it being a double hopper. Oops, there. So you can just go boom, 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 boom. If you want to double it up and do two, you can. I don't think that there's quite enough materials coming into the farm that it justifies having a double hopper there. So this is excessive. So my suggestion would be to do this. Break these out and then do a single hopper pointing into that hopper like that. And then along all this, you've just got one line of hoppers going down. So that's going to save you a little bit. Now, the next step, I'm going to go ahead and put glass in here. All right, and I've also done the front and the back, and then you can go ahead and just break out the floor of the farm right here. Now, what we want to treat the floor as is representing the lowest level of the farm where guardians can spawn. So anything above this is spawnable area. This all down here is our killing chamber. And so our next step is to go ahead and actually put in the killing chamber itself, which is pretty simple. Now, I did notice when I was building this that you want to build this on a world in which you have fire ticks spread off, because otherwise, for some reason, occasionally you end up with flaming hoppers, and I don't understand why. But all right, so one block above the hoppers, you're going to put a line of signs going down like this. And then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And the reason we're doing this here is above this is where the lava is going to go, and we want 2 blocks of space above the hoppers before the lava, so that our guardians are bouncing up into the lava and taking damage and dying, but when they die, they aren't in the lava, so we don't lose their drops. Now, just above that, on the bottom layer of the spawnable area, we're going to do another layer of signs like this going across, and then repeat on the other side as well. You'll have another layer of signs. The bottom area of the farm is complete minus putting in the lava, and it would be perfectly okay to go ahead and put the lava in here now. If you don't want to mess around with the potential of dying, you don't have to do that. But you just need lava on these sides. So it's 16 buckets of lava as you go through there. And then that's the bottom portion of the farm, 100% done. So the next thing, we want to build this up. So you want to match where you built on the other side, like so. And then I've gone ahead and just kind of put a bottom border around this so that it matches on all sides like so. You can do that. All right, so the next thing we want to do is to take our walls up to 17 blocks. So, or 17 blocks, sorry, above this point right here. So from here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So you got 17 blocks up, and you want to take those posts up all around like that. All right, once you got the posts up, you can go ahead and close that in. And then you want to fill in the rest of those spaces there with glass. Now, one option you can do, well, no, that's fine. So I'll cover that when I build the second half of the farm. All right, so you want to cover in this all with glass. What our next step, we're going to close in, and it's completely up to you which side you put this on. It doesn't really matter. I prefer to have it on the outside. So I'm going to close in one side of the top like this. And then on the other side, we're going to put our dispensers. And the problem with this is that they are facing up like so. So you want to come down a little bit. And so it might have been helpful to do this before you place all the glass in, at least on the top level. And you're going to come up and you want to put the dispensers facing down like that. Once we've got all of our dispensers in, we want to put buckets of water in all of them. All right, okay. All right, so I'm gonna grab a button, I'm gonna place it there, and then I'm going to put redstone dust across the whole top of each dispenser like so. And this side of the farm is completely done. So if you just want a Guardian farm to get drops, then this one is it, and it is ready to go. So all you have to do to activate the farm is hit the power button here. You'll see the water fill in. And then once you're the 28 blocks away or so, you'll see immediately you start getting the Guardians spawning in. Right? So it's a pretty simple, easy system in order to get the drops that you need for this. Now, but if you are like me and you want an XP farm, all we're going to do is first we're going to mirror the top. All right, so this side of the farm on the top is completely finished, except I completely forgot to leave this glass wall, and that's okay. Now the next step is we want to break out this bottom section here, and we're going to mirror the construction on the bottom also. All right, so now the bottom is in, and if you built it the way I did right here on the edge, you'll notice that this one right here lines up with this tower piece here. And I kind of liked using that tower element in my farm. So I'm gonna go ahead and break that down a little bit so I don't just am saving on my own construction costs. So the next step we want to do is we actually want to go ahead and put in our signs to block the water from coming down. Now, you can put the signs at the exact same level as we did on the other farm. That's perfectly okay, so right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, so now we've got our signs in to block the water. And now, we need to get the Guardians all the way down to this end over here. So the easiest way to do that will be to kind of place water and have them be pushed. But as you can see, it doesn't make it all the way across. So what you'll want to do is build a second little layer 7 blocks from the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then when you flood that, the water is going to run, and you'll notice it goes right to the edge right here, and so any Guardians that fall are going to be pushed along this way, and then they're going to fall into here. So I'm going to go ahead and bust this out, because this is going to be our tunnel where the Guardians are actually doing their falling. Now, if you built yours where I did, you've got at least some of this little you know, structure here that you can use to keep them going with that. Now, when you're in this structure, you want to put a signpost right there and right there. A signpost here and here. So 1 block below the water, we want our first bout of lava. So we're going to do sign, sign, and then we're going to have a space, sign, sign, space, sign, sign, because we're going to have lava and a space, lava, and then water. We don't want these guardians to burn the entire way down because they will die, and then we will not get to gather their experience. So again, below the water, you go down 1 block if we want the lava there, so sign, sign, sign. Now, you will of course have to have this completely blocked in to prevent any spillage as we go. But that could just easily be fixed like that. All right, it's cool. So now we've got that element in place. I'm not going to put in the lava just yet. Now you want to take this down from this water right here as about 24 blocks or 20 blocks. That's just to give a little bit of fall damage. You can do less than that. You just might have to hit them a few more times with your sword or you know, your splash potions, which is what I recommend using. So below the water we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so this is about 19 blocks down from where the water is going to be, and what you want to make sure is that it is a 2x2 tube going all the way up to the top. So you can go and close in the back side like this, and then on the front end side we're going to do a little work before we close it in. But on that 19th block right here, let's see, right here, I'm going to go ahead and take this part out. Oops. All right, so right here, we're going to have a hopper facing down like so. And then behind that, a hopper going into it. Next to it, a hopper going into it. And then this final hopper can go into either one of the other ones. And then on top of that, we want to go ahead and put carpet. The carpet will prevent the experience orbs from getting trapped inside of the hoppers. Now, down here, this is where our actual collection area for our drops is going to go. So if you want to go ahead and put in a couple chests, you can do that here, like so. And then, you know, right there. And then into the back of each of those chests, you want to put a hopper as well. And again, the size of the storage unit is completely up to you. You don't have to do a big one, you can do whatever. So that's kind of what you've got going there. And then, you know, if you want, you can go ahead and do there. We want a platform about right here. Now, here, we want to go ahead and make sure that we've got a block there, so it's a 1 block gap. But then on the bottom of each of those, you want to put a slab to prevent any guardians from popping out the bottom. And that is completely finished here. So once I turn on the farm, the guardians are going to start spawning and falling in here. So let me go ahead and pop that farm on. All right, so the guardians are going to start falling down in here. Occasionally one's going to die from fall damage or whatever because they swam through the lava or did something. But they're here, so you can hit them with your sword and get all those drops. Now, I recommend that, I mean, if you're going to do this, build a little kind of platform that goes out, put in some trapdoors so you don't get knocked back from all the thorns damage, but that's there. The best way, since we don't have sweeping edge on the PS4, the best way to do this would be somewhere about here to build a little platform that you can come in and you can have it closed off with slabs like this. You know, you just come in and break those, or you can have, you know, doors here or whatever to keep them out. And the best is a splash potion of harming. And then when you drop down there, you'll collect all of those. Great experience, and you'll also be getting all of those drops. So that's my suggestion would be to build something like that instead of using your sword, but it is completely up to you and what you want to do. If you're on the Java edition and you have Sweeping Edge, then absolutely you can use that. But this is the completed farm, and again, it's toggleable, so if I don't want the experience on and I'd rather just collect the drops, I can turn this one on, and so now I've got the experience side will turn off and the other side will completely turn on, so that'll be really effective. Now, if you want to AFK here, or you want to increase the drops, my suggestion, 1, drain out the water so that these are the only spaces where guardians can spawn, and then light up every cave anywhere within 120 blocks of the farm. So, you know, 120 blocks that way, whatever. Make sure that you've got a solid non-transparent block on the top like this. And you might need to put lights up here to prevent mobs spawning during the nighttime and things like that, as I've done over there. And then your AFK platform, I would recommend putting about 100 blocks up so that the full farm is within the AFK, and then you don't have to necessarily have as much of the area lit up, but this also helps to prevent a little bit of spawning of drowned on the ocean floor around the monument. But aside from that, that is everything. So thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video or you learned something, then please drop a like. If you really enjoyed it, maybe subscribe if you want to see more videos like it. But this has been The Great Escape, and I will see you next time.